I'm getting a lot more attention for a tweet about fucking infrared than I am the tweet promoting my own stream. I'd just like to point that out, and the irony that comes into play there, which is funny because he's technically one of the subjects of the topic that I want to cover first, that we were supposed to cover yesterday, but we just didn't have time to. Man, there are so many people. So for starters, we're going to talk about, everyone is obsessed with talking about debate culture and debate bros on this website. And I will totally agree that debate bros are not fun to have to deal with. But I really feel like people don't realize what has birthed the very toxic debate bro culture. And I've kind of hinted at it, but we've never talked specifically about it. So let's change the discourse. Or attempt to. I'm probably not going to reach out as far as I want to, but let's see if we can kind of adapt it, we'll say. To get people to talk about what is the precursor to the debate bro culture. It's not just that they're debate bros, they're emulating someone that they look up to, have a very toxic parasocial relationship with, and they're just going about their business. So it's not enough to say that they're just debating or whatever. This debating comes from somewhere. Whether it's DGG, VGG, or let's see here, what are some of the other ones that people constantly emulate? Any of the people on the right, like your Charlie Kirk, your Ben Shapiro's, your Steven Crowder's. And now we have Infrared. A man who just can't help but walk face first into not understanding basic female anatomy while also decrying normal functions of female anatomy. He is the anatomy understander. He is. People forget the first time that he, his first weird sex take was him not understanding the purpose of the dude in a MFF threesome. It's like, what does he do? It's like, what do you mean, what does he do? There's things, there's more. You have the down there, and you have, this thing and the tongue in it. Anyways, people have quickly forgotten that was a precursor to him, and people started calling him an incel then. And that was on John Zerka, and that caused him to hate John Zerka, even though he said it. He's a very angry man. He's a very angry man who, has a lot of very obvious similarities to other very angry men who like to debate and like to get really embarrassed when they start talking out their ass about things they have no reason to ever talk about. Most debate bros are, to be fair. Yes, that's what I'm saying. You have no business talking about very specific things and you get dragged for it, which makes them really mad, which makes them go on Twitter tirades, which then turns into a Reddit manifesto, which then just everyone laser focuses on that discourse rather than, politics. The thing that we're supposed to be covering. And why do they do that? Well, the streamers themselves are farming views while also, just being insane human beings who love drama. So, the market has declared that this is so. But it never stops with them, does it? Never stops with them. Like I said, you got your DGG. You start talking shit about Destiny. There's a couple things that can happen if you talk about him for any length of time. His little minions will get pissed off and start screaming at you in chat. If you do it on Twitter, they're going to scream at you on Twitter because you insulted their daddy. No matter how wrong he is, factually, they will always defend him. This extends, of course, to billionaires. We can talk about, hey, Grady, good to see you. We can talk about, Joe Rogan is a good example, Bree. We can talk about Elon Musk. Elon Musk stands are the same way. They're the same way. They do a different type of debate, but they're still debating. Debating on Twitter, it's I've heard it described as turn-based debate. There you go. And it all serves one purpose, not any purpose that actually benefits the people talking about it, but to save their ego that is completely attached to a person who wouldn't piss on them if they were on fire. You do that with Vosh stands. Vosh has more good takes than Destiny. I will totally agree. Put me in a room with Vosh and Destiny, I'm more likely to agree with Vosh on more things. But Vosh is still the same way. Just because he's slightly better doesn't really change anything, because he has a tendency of saying some really stupid shit too. And his fans are just as bad. Now, I said already that they're just going to bitch at you. But also the other thing that happens is they run and tell their daddy, and their daddy then wants to debate you on stream and, send all their toxic bullshit your way. A thing that I've actively avoided. And I'm okay with it. I enjoy being able to have some semblance of peace on here for the time being. Like, if I start making decent money, peace is going to be a thing that's just going to be I'll get it every now and then. But I'm not making any money. So I, as Johnny, fucking below 100 subs a month guy, have no interest in doing that. Let's work on the community. Let's grow our shit first. Let's move naturally. And then maybe one day we might venture into that. Who knows? Probably not. I honestly would rather not. But yeah, they always run and tell daddy. They always have to make sure that daddy knows that the big mean person is saying the naughty things against them. And then what happens? More toxic bullshit, more people running at you. So, Infrared is just one in the new many who have come before them. Juche Gang is his little group of minions, or singular person, who likes to run around, get instantly banned, gets in your DMs, and starts telling you constantly that you should have been aborted. It's always some form of you should have been aborted, infrared is rising, blah, blah, blah. And it boils down to the same thing. Cult of personality. They love the guy because he, I don't know, connects to some consistent id that they have. it always seems to be very, very similar. I mean, counterpoint to that is if you're going to call someone out, should they just let it happen and not try to defend themselves? Of course. There is that. But, like, that's all they do. And the reason they do that isn't to actually address the critique. It's to start drama. It's to get you owned. Have their daddy dunk on you. And what they determine to be a dunk can be really anything. 9 times out of 10, what it boils down to is a complete misunderstanding because somebody decided to have a more somebody had a more powerful microphone that picked up more on Discord, or a Discord signal went down a little bit, so something gets completely misconstrued, and that person's probably talking to that person. There's so on offline, so they're not really, or not offline, but not on their stream, so there's no real record of what you actually said. Or sometimes there is, and you're so small it gets ignored. All the people do is then they just go to Big Daddy's stream and say, you said this. It's one of the reasons why someone like Joe Lewis is still considered a black nationalist and black supremacist by complete and utter fucking morons who never even bothered to look into whether the claims were real or what he actually said. Just yesterday, I heard somebody calling Joe Lewis a black supremacist on a stream. Where did that come from? Complete miscommunication. And a complete misinterpretation by terrible people who actually don't give a shit if there are black supremacists because they want a white ethno-state. I'm not sure who that Lewis person is. Joe Lewis is great. He's the one that I rated yesterday. He's a fantastic streamer. There are a few good debate bros, and this is the thing, kill daddy culture. I can't call you daddy anymore. I mean, I'm what I'm describing as daddy culture is these cult of personalities that people attach to their own like view of what a personality is. The many Destiny clones that are on here, the Vosh clones that are on here, the Xander Hall clones that are on here, the people that on Twitter that absolutely love Elon Musk, infrared clones. It's just the newest one in a long string of just people gathering themselves around very mediocre people. They're often white. I'm not sure what to think of that. I mean, I know Haas isn't exactly white. He's he's like white passing. But I believe he's Middle Eastern, some form. But it's the same attitude. It's this unearned confidence and belief in their unquestionable mental ability to own people and dunk on people. Except for they're constantly on the defense for their daddy because how actually mediocre they are. Hey, DGG, you wouldn't have to constantly be defending your daddy if he didn't have such terrible takes all the time, and you could just let him be shit and let him be wrong and be like, rather than constantly trying to justify it whether it's good or not. I'm a huge fan of Sam Cedar, but I never once felt the urge to defend him when he says something wrong. And there have been times where I've absolutely disagreed with him. And I have no problem voicing that. He's well thought out in his takes. So it doesn't happen all that often. It doesn't happen all that often that I have like a major disagreement with him. Not because I see him as any sort of daddy figure. very second he has a terrible take, I'll agree. I'll defend, me and the other left his best crew will defend him when people go after him over stupid bullshit, like fucking Glenn Greenwald and people like that, Steven Crowder, because that's fun, because those people are clowns. But it's not a daddy thing. I'm not going to go to defend Sam if he just out and out has like a worse fucking take. It's a phenomenon where it's white mediocrity being rewarded for merely existing due to how much credibility society readily gives to white people, white passing people. Not just that. The confidence by which they deliver this shit. And the doubling down, the tripling down, the complete and utter I lost a lot of respect for Sam as he disrespected Jamie before she left his show. I've heard that complaint and I've tried to spot where it is. They disagree on a lot of shit, but I wouldn't absolutely say that that he disrespected her. I don't know. I think there was some mutual stuff there. But the Jamie situation is strange. Jamie's situation is definitely strange. It's difficult to pinpoint what exactly happened. I do think that she felt boxed in by Sam's pushback, but I actually really enjoyed. I'm one of the... It doesn't matter who dissed who. They both had like very different political leanings. Good to see you, Chokin, and good to see you, Cicero, by the way. And Kevin, of course. They both had just different sections of the left that they fit on, and Jamie would get a little bit more virulent and try to defend certain things and push certain things. And I think honestly, Sam was opening up more to it, and he lets Matt talk a lot more about anti-capitalism than before. And honestly, I think Sam's moved. I don't know. I think there was some growing pains there when you have somebody who's just an out and out communist on there talking about daddy culture. So I don't know. That situation is very strange because I feel like there was a lot of mutual uncomfortableness between the both of them. And I think, honestly, Jamie did just want to go off and do her own thing. I don't see any reason to see like hatred between them. I don't think they hate each other. I think they had a more complicated relationship with that than that, especially her and Michael, which people don't often talk about. I mean, she has said even on the episode addressing his death that she had a really complicated relationship with him, but she respected the hell out of him. They disagreed on tactics a lot. It's a typical left eating left, but I don't think it was an out and out hatred or anything like that. So, It took several days before Sam actually apologized on air. He admitted he was wrong. I mean, yeah. I mean, I've heard from a lot of people who yeah, I'm not repeating that one. Nah. I've heard from a lot of people who have were more they converse with MR people, MR staff a lot more than the rest of us, that like Sam's a wonderful dude. They do love him, but he can be a difficult person. And people are complicated. All these things are true. I've heard that sometimes he can be an asshole. They make fun of him on air for that when he gets frustrated by shit. You know, if you remember all the Michael impressions when like there would be like tech issues, God damn it, this thing's broken. Why isn't it working? Like it was good times. Any mod in chat, go ahead and ban that last one. That last follow. Apparently somebody's really upset. Hey, look, I triggered somebody talking about their daddy. I'm pretty sure that's Juche. I'm glad you're here, Juche. I'm glad you're here. Absolutely glad that you're here, or whatever daddy figure that you have. I'm glad that you're here to hear this. Sam would be difficult to work with. I mean, anyone can be. But there's a reason that people stay. There's a reason why people come back. You know, people are complicated. But ultimately, I think that Sam and Jamie were just too different. And I have noticed a change in Sam's politics. He doesn't want to call himself a socialist. He doesn't want to call himself a communist. Fine. I don't care. But man, he has been heavily leaning into some further left critiques the past while. That's because somebody already took care of it. Never said you cared about Sam Cedar. Sam Cedar's not my daddy either. You know, whether it's Infrared or Destiny or whoever it is that you're completely unhappy that I'm talking about, you have a problem. You have issues with daddy culture. This is one of those rare times where I'm glad that even after you're banned, you can still watch the stream, hang around, and hear what I have to say. Why not? I don't think they were a troll. I've seen them in other leftist streams just hanging out. I was getting whispers. Yeah. So no, they're done. They talked themselves out of it. Whoever their daddy is that that they're annoyed at me for bringing up. I think COVID affected his outlook. I think so. I think not just COVID specifically, but the results. I think I've talked before about how COVID exposed a lot of issues in our society, a lot of giant holes that we have in how we provide for people, and how the system is not built in any way to help people, to help the citizenry, you know, the people affected. So long as you don't talk shit about my truth. That's something that I was gonna get into later, but we'll get into it later. But yeah, the Sam Jamie thing is a whole different thing. People are complicated, but everything that I've seen from it is both sides have a point. Both sides have had an effect on the other. Both sides, if there is a any sort of negative feelings towards the other, both sides kind of need to get over it. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm fully willing to accept it. We just need to be okay with admitting when people that we follow and look up to are wrong. Can we normalize that? Let's start there. There are a number of tactics that a number of people who these impressionable, often young types follow and idolize. That is just flat wrong and not good. There's a number of takes that these people will die on the hill of that, honestly, if anyone else would have said it, they would be really unhappy. They would be with us. Hey, that's bad. It's okay for people to be wrong. Parasocial relationships are an issue. I totally get it. You know, COVID continues. We've been sitting in our houses. Things aren't back to normal, whatever the fuck that even means. We've become homebodies and we don't quite know how to interact with each other right now. We're still just kind of getting back to it to the extent that we can because COVID still looms as a constant threat in our lives. I get it. They think their daddy is perfect in every way and can't ever be wrong, is what it feels like sometimes. They don't realize humans are often wrong on lots of stuff, and that's what makes us human. Yeah. I have lived by, regarding people I look up to, I have lived by a few creeds that I constantly have to remind myself of. Okay? One, kill your heroes. At any point, and this also goes along with all your faves are problematic, is the one that I usually say. Because when you say kill your heroes, people for some reason think that you mean that you actually want to physically kill the person. No. Kill the image of the hero you have in your head. These people are not heroes. They're human beings. Stop that idol worship. Hey, we're supposed to be on the left. We're supposed to not do that. We're supposed to look at things on a as a society, as a community. Hey, communists. Communism, community. It's a whole thing. It's baked into the fucking thing that you love. Quit acting out of individual interest to defend an individual. They are not your God. They are not your God. Kill that image of a hero in your head. All your faves are problematic is mantra that suggests that at any point, someone that you look up to that has, given you some very great talking points and some, expanded your knowledge a little bit so you really appreciate what they've done. At any point, they could say something that's just complete and utter bullshit that you completely don't agree with, and that's going to make you look down on them a little bit. Hi, Richard Wolf. How you doing? That doesn't always mean you just throw them out. But it also doesn't mean that you double down on it and defend them. Let them defend themselves. If you legitimately see the position as defensible, sure, defend that for you as you. Don't do it because of your idol worship. When we had Jangles on, which you can go to the YouTube, you can watch that interview with Jangles. It was great. He described it as one of the best conversations he's ever had, which was awesome considering some of the Mayo 6 were really unhappy that I was talking to him about Debate Bros. And one of them started tweeting at Jangles before the whole thing happened, describing me as bad faith and saying that I would be wasting his time and that I don't actually provide anything to the conversation. Well, it's funny how things work out. Jangles seemed to like it. I liked the conversation. I liked the concentration on the points they had. It's got my wheels turning towards a lot of things. It changed some of my perspectives on some of the Debate Bros. Like I said, I do view them, they're being good Debate Bros, but most of them are bad. Most of them absolutely fucking suck. It's the reason why I still follow Jangles. The reason why I still follow Joe. Those are good Debate Bros. They actually provide something good. Are they capable of problematic takes? Yes, everyone is. Sometimes people say dumb shit. That's okay. It says nothing of you. It takes nothing away from you. It takes absolutely fuck all away from you. Admitting that person is wrong. I mostly like Ben Burgess, but some of his takes regarding trans issues and his takes of how cancel culture is something that we legitimately Pisco is a good debate, bro, even if he is Destiny Orbiter. I've had some interactions with Pisco. I don't really agree. I find him to be in that same ilk. He does the Destiny impression for one thing, you know. And secondly, his takes aren't always great. So I'm going to disagree with you there. But luckily, he doesn't seem to have daddy syndrome. He seems to be his own thing, which I applaud, 100%. So I'll keep him out of that conversation, but I don't think that he's a good debate bro because, you know, in the same way that I don't consider Counterpoints to be a good debate bro. Yeah. They're just people who they cling to a way somebody talks about something or a way somebody talks to where they just become that person and they feel any attack of that person is an attack on them themselves. By the way, it's good to see you play Vampire. Hey, Lord, good to see you. Probably have more experience with him than me. Yeah, I used to do the debate panels. I used to do fucking Prime guys. And yeah, I had a couple interactions with them. Sam, I really don't see how those panels are entertaining considering I got really bored whenever I was on them. They're more frustrating. I stopped doing them because I started recognizing more and more extreme right views being acceptable on there, and how anyone calling out how extreme it was, like myself, was treated. I had debated Suspect Sushi a couple of times and pointed out that, hey, this guy's kind of really fucking horrible. We need to worry about that. And now he's arrested because he did an insurrection. Because he's a Proud Boy. And I said, hey, we need to bury this pile of shit instead of continuing to boost him. And nobody listened. And now he's in prison. Yeah. Just a thing that I noticed became acceptable. You think Politically Provoked came out of nowhere? Just saying. I don't like panels where people are all about, I want to win this thing. I want to dunk. Which that's most of them. That's why, you know, I don't think anyone can honestly say that my discussion with Ungovernable on Wednesday. So I don't think anyone could describe that as me trying to dunk on him. He would just say really dumb shit and I didn't want to let it go. Like he sort of dunked on himself with a lot of the things he said. What is kill daddy culture? Daddy culture is the how do I describe this? Are you okay? I think you said something about DGG at one point. No, you didn't. Okay, so let's use the example because this is a more universal example. Let's use the example of those Elon Musk stands where you criticize them at all, they will hunt you down, you know, because you insulted their daddy, even if their daddy did something really fucking terrible. Like, that's what I'm talking about. They'll just endlessly defend these people. And this is a precursor to debate culture because most of the people that these people are defending are the, we'll say the bad debate bros, which is the majority of debate bros. You know, and they emulate them. You know, your Destinies, your Voshes, your Xander Halls, your Lauren Southerns, your God, what's another one? Well, now the new one is Infrared. I mean, he's a meme, but guess what? He's got a shitload of fans who absolutely love him. We saw him rising. And you know what people did instead of recognizing him as a problematic and bad person to promote? Well, they doubled down and kept pushing it. You mean people would put loyalty over truth and therefore defend their daddy at all costs? Yes. Yes. I think Dylan and Prime popularized toxic wrestling style debates on Twitch and helped proliferate fascist views as acceptable, putting all of those things out there in front of thousands of people. No, actually, no. Kevin, you weren't around for the big brain panels under Mind Waves, because that was part of it. And I can admit I played some role in that, being a part of those panels in the early times of them existing, more than just the Raj Royale at the time. Of course, you know, it's not that anymore. Yeah, like that. It kind of boiled down to the Mind Waves panels, which then of course turned into Mind Ciphers with Leon. Leon was he was one of the first people to reach out to me to bring me on my very first panel that I was on consistently while I was out of a job for almost a year. The Mayo 6, which also turned into Chud Night. Chud Logic had his own thing that was farmed for content, and a bunch of people just started panels. Euphemes had his panels, which would often turn very toxic to the point where he just was like, fuck this, I'm stopping this. You know, he had the Doomer Hours streams. Freems was Prime Kai before Prime Kai. And he left that shit because he saw how awful it was getting and it was affecting his mental health. I stopped doing panels. I started to like move away from panels, A, because of time, and B, because yes, it was affecting my mental health. They're stressful. There's just people attacking you. Often for no other reason than they don't like you personally. So they're willing to bury their own politics in order to attack you. There's a number of people that happened with me. And many others. Like, that was a constant thing. But a lot of it stemmed from this endless defense of bad people. It was the N-word Andy fiasco. That was the first time I saw the daddy issue. I didn't have a name for it, and I didn't think it was going to spread, but man did it. Man did it. They're stressful to watch. I've never seen a whole panel. They're stressful to be on. They're stressful to be on. You know? They can very much affect your mental health, you know? If you were around, you know. Like, seriously. Leon doesn't do politics anymore. You guys even know who Leon Cyphers is? He's a bud of mine, and he was the first panel host to reach out to me. And he just with his little roundtable thing where he'd get together and just talk about shit. Sometimes a debate. We would just hang out, the group of us, you know, and eventually it became a market. I can't blame Dylan or Prime for either of that. They just got popular doing it, more popular than the people who kind of started it. I hate the way they're so devoid of substance. It's usually a bunch of know-nothing blowhards. Yeah. In general, I prefer truth way over loyalty. Not to say that sometimes loyalty is important. Of course, and I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. I feel like there's just a group of impressionable young people who are convinced that everything that they need to be about is, having a personality that exists not of their own creation, but out of somebody else's. This person, kept me out of the alt-right, therefore I love them. I'll never admit that all that, but I'll defend them to the death. And that's how you get people, early on defending things like the N-word Andy thing, which turned into more bad takes that they just endlessly defend, which turns into endlessly defending Vosh when he has bad takes, which turns into endlessly defending whoever for no other reason than they see it as an insult to them personally. I mean, have you tried insulting Donald Trump to his followers' face? Good point. Donald Trump, also a daddy figure for a lot of these people. Trump was my first idea when you talk about daddy figures. Yeah. I don't know why he wasn't one of my first, but yeah, he definitely is one of them. I guess because I wanted to concentrate more on the perceived left in this country. A lot of the divide that we have on this platform specifically is based in supporting these cult of personalities. And it's not enough to just call out debate bros. You have to call out the precursor to it. And that is this belief that you need to build your entire identity around these people. I was getting into what exact rules you should kind of look into. And let me say this. If I ever get that big, I'm going to do everything within my power to snuff that shit out of my community. I don't want people to think that I can never be wrong. I have been wrong, and I will fully admit it. Yeah, I like to make a big deal about the things that I predicted are right because, it's a whole thing. But when I'm wrong, I fully will admit it. Sometimes I'll even beat it into the ground to grill it into my head so I can learn a lesson from it. That's just who I've always been. No one is above being wrong. And I don't want anyone ever defending me when I have a bad take. If I have some takes that haven't aged well and they show up on the internet one day and people are like, hey, look, blah, 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 I'm going to say, yeah, that was probably bad. What's up, Lord? I think we kind of expect that behavior out of Republicans, though. They pioneered that shit with Reagan. True. One of Reagan's commandments, thou shalt not criticize another Republican. Maybe Bernard Sanders shouldn't have voted for the crime bill. I absolutely agree. Yeah, I absolutely agree. There's more information to that, obviously, as Joe Biden attached the bill that he wanted to get, that Bernie Sanders wanted to get passed to it, the Defense for Women's Act. Yeah, I believe that was it. The Defense for Women's Act got attached to it. So Bernie largely voted for that, but he also decried the crime bill. It's just one of those things where it was a bad situation. A better example of something that Bernie definitely shouldn't have voted for, things like the Afghanistan war. He probably should have been one of the people who voted against that. He voted against the assault rifle ban. There are definitely bad votes in his past. You're not going to see people with not bad votes. That's why I haven't completely thrown people like AOC or Rashida Tlaib under the bus. There's going to be bad votes. Jamal Bowman is going to have. It appears like he's going to have a lot of bad votes, a lot more than the others. But we can't keep throwing out the baby with the bathwater. We can't expect them to act as the vanguard, as a perfect representation of communism and socialism, because They're not socialists. They're sock dems at best. They're not socialists. Expect them to support some things you don't like, but look at the majority of things that they do that are good and give them your support, not blindly, but because they're kind of the best we got. It's you can't. None of these people are your uncles, okay? None of these people are related to you in any way. And even then, you know what? You know what we do with shitty members of the family? We criticize them. Or we avoid them entirely. You know, only the dumbest people continue to keep toxic family members around you. So even if they were your family, admit that they just kind of suck. You know? I go back and forth on whether or not Bernie should have continued to push the endorsement from Joe Rogan, considering what we know now. That's okay. At the time, I defended it. No one is above criticism. No one is above being wrong. Whether retroactively or currently. It's how such things are handled after it's called out that should determine how you feel about that person. Especially if you yourself have previously said that that take is bad, which a lot of these people have. So, let's look into the thing that triggered this conversation finally. This is a grown man currently losing his shit. He has a fan base that
thank you very much. Rock and roll. Rock and roll.
Dame Karen, thank you for the host. Good to see you. When I compare my views today with what I thought like 10 years ago, how can I be so sure that in 10 years from now again I will think completely differently than today? True. And honestly, you should. You should grow. I still defend it in some regards because it was a good example of how Sanders had a wider base of appeal than most Democrats. True. True. Oh, man. Is he wearing the same clothes? Like, did you have to change him completely? Can't stay long, but happy to host. All right. Well, I appreciate you coming by. Look at all these people who are not subbed in my chat. Man, if there was a anonymous gifter, that'd be really cool. But, you know. Just 14 away from the sub goal, but it's early. Wilco, good to see you. I thought you'd be in Lucid's chat. Are you double timing it, or did Lucid stop early? Anyways, let's see how this all started. Now remember, we on left Twitch have been constantly harassed by this man's fans. Juche gang. Maybe one person, maybe 10. Don't know. All I know is they have the same poorly, barely English written bullshit trying to tell you that you should have been aborted, that infrared is rising, blah, blah, blah. This is Haas, otherwise known as infrared. All right. He's still on, just hopping around. All right. All right. I thought that was really quick. I would have to think that his internet went out or something, which would be a bummer. Glad to have you by. This, yeah, 26 centimeters is another one. He's also a fan of Haas. This is the clip that has them losing their minds and the rest of us honestly laughing. And he's just constantly having a normal one with his fans just coming to bat for Daddy. Daddy wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong here. He knows how anatomy works. Right?
I have a question. How many holes does a woman have from the...
Some people seem to think Separuski is Juche's main. I go back and forth on that. I'm always suspect of them when they come in, but usually they have okay takes and they're not too bad. I do think they're a little tanky leaning, but they, at least in my chat, they behave themselves. But I have seen how they act in other people's chats. All right, hope to see you again, Peter. Give me a follow. Come back. We do this every Saturday, Sunday, and Wednesday around this time.
Waist down.
2.
Okay.
Bless her for being able to keep a straight face right there.
So what are those holes used for?
A lot of things. Like, what do you mean? What do you ask?
Yeah, it's just a general like uneasy.
Yeah, that could be a thing. That could be a thing too. God, they better not look up to me as a daddy figure. I swear to fuck. Like I said, I will snuff that shit out quick. I am not your daddy. I don't want to be your daddy. I have a child. Like, if you like my takes and you want to spread some of my talking points that I come up with for things like Medicare for All and all that, you like the way I joke around, you like my impressions, cool. I completely am fine with that. But if I don't want to see people attacking people just because they criticize me. I may not like the critique, but I'm just not going to be like, hey, so ban anyone who calls Mark daddy. Got it? No. That's a different thing. That's a different type of daddy culture. Anyway.
Like biological question. What are those 2 holes used for?
I mean, like, bathroom wise?
Yes.
Poop and pee?
Poop and pee. And then where's the sex one, dude?
The pee one.
Oh my god.
What's
oh
your
my
point?
god.
It is vampire.
That's
What's the
so
joke?
cute. That's so fucking cute, dude. It's like, dude, you really never had a woman like.
What is going on? What, you pee from your butt?
I have a question.
Now, I had some time to think about this take after I had an initial idiot view. Dudes, let's be honest here. Put under the pressure, no matter how much sex you've had, unless you're a gynecologist or urologist. Let's be honest here. Push comes to shove. Put under the scope. Put in that same situation. Ask that question. Without thinking much about it, what are you likely to say? Not much different. Let's be honest. Now, someone like me, who studies anatomy, studying it currently for like the 3rd time, I would answer that right away too, and then correct myself later after it's called out, and I would laugh at myself and just move the fuck on. You're like, God, that was stupid. Like, how many times have I tried to show people the fucking show people? Wilco, it's different when you're like on stream with like a bunch of people looking at you. You know what you mean? You know what I mean? There's a pressure there. That's what I mean. Yeah, you just kind of laugh it off, be like, oh shit, I was fucking stupid. How many times have I like sent people the clip of me asking a group of people the difference between Mexican food and Spanish food, and Mixed Vivian Wolf absolutely dunking on me because it's hilarious. I fucking love that clip. I don't care that I look like an idiot. Wanna know why? Because I fully admitted that was probably a stupid question. A. B. It was really fucking funny, her response. You could be a good sport. You could admit, oh, damn, yeah, sorry, you know, I'm not thinking right. You know, maybe it's late at night or whatever. People, especially dudes, we have a very limited understanding. And we could back this up by pointing out how many failures there are in our health education and our sex education in this country. And that could be a big reason why. We don't understand female anatomy. Most people do not understand female anatomy, most dudes specifically, because we just don't need to think about it for some reason. We convinced ourselves that it doesn't matter talking about it. You know, probably through our shitty education system. So I gave him a slight pass on that fact that push comes to shove, pressure on you, thousands of people watching. You're up there, you got this really pretty girl answering this question. You don't really quite understand what's going on. It came out of nowhere. It's late at night. Yeah, too. I don't know. How I've long said that what drives drama discourse isn't the initial comment. It isn't the initial comment that drives discourse. It's how you react to it afterwards. This has been going on for 2 days now. This has been passing through everyone. This is half of my timeline now. It's infrastructure bill, Haas not knowing how many holes there are in women. It's that. That's my timeline. Hey, Crimson, good to see you. Yeah, it just won't take the L. Like, it's not because, first of all, it's a funny clip. It's not just because it's a funny clip. It's because of this fucking shit. The man is losing his mind about this and doubling down to be, well, I was technically correct. Except he's not. Yeah, he's arguing that he's right. I don't follow him on Twitter. So many people have shared his brain dead takes on this to weasel his way out of just saying, you know what? I was wrong. I have seen so much of this shit and it's all just fucking... It's gobbledygook. When did she say vulva? The clip gets the most traction, but the entire segment is almost funnier. Is there a clip out of that we could watch real quick? Because I would absolutely... And let it be known, the first person I saw post this was fucking Lottie. I love Lottie. Lottie's fantastic. I wish them well. They are amazing. I'll say that I get a lot of menstruation info wrong, like how to time conception after a period. How to time conception after a period. Yeah. I mean, we track that stuff with an app to avoid not having any more oopsies. We love Eli, but you know, yeah. So, yeah. Let's get into one of his defenses. I might pull up his Twitter just to check out more, because, oh my god, they're so bad. It's, dude, you were just wrong. Just admit it. Just stop doubling down and just admit that you fucked up. That maybe you were a little sleepy. That you forgot. Oopsie, I fucked up. Ha ha ha. I laugh at myself now. Just do that. And he refuses. He refuses. And his fans, his children, they're doing the same thing. And they're kind of worse. It really is as simple as being able to laugh at yourself. Yes. Yes. It kind of goes that way for most of the people who complain about being canceled. I've said it originally on my one and only appearance on Big Brain back in the day. I was using a sneaky tactic to call out even the host and one of the previous guests. This was a couple weeks after the N-word Andy debacle, and while also talking about ContraPoints. But what I said, and I have not seen anything that has proved against this, it's not the initial thing that causes the big blow up from everybody. The initial thing can be a thing. It's how you react afterwards. Let's give two examples. There's this, okay, where you just double down. No, I was right, actually. No, I was right, actually. I swear I was right. Look at this medical journal that I completely misread that actually tells me I'm wrong, but I didn't actually read. Or, and this is something we've learned recently, you do this. You just disappear. And both of those are bad responses because neither of those make the situation go away. Okay? Neither of those do anything but continue to push the initial accusation. Virgil disappearing did not make people forget the accusation. Because it was such an extreme, it's such an extreme reaction to be the host of two different popular podcasts. Co-hosts, excuse me. And then this accusation comes out and you just go, you can't disappear, motherfucker. You can't do that. Because that looks worse. That looks really bad. And have people dropped any of what happened? Let's just go to the most recent Brianna Greyjoy tweet. Let's see here. How long before somebody mentions Virgil? Did it make it go away? Huh? It did not. In Haas's example, it's fun. It's kind of, I don't know which one is funnier. Honestly, the best way to handle any of these things is to start from the position of humility. A lot of the people who've gotten canceled, which Haas thinks he was canceled when he wasn't even. How can you get canceled if you were never picked up in the first place? I don't know. And he's lost nothing in his weird little universe. His fans are very much fucking indoctrinated to his cause. They love him. They want to be him. I don't know why. The man seems miserable. But they love everything about this guy. He's lost nothing. He hasn't been canceled. But in past examples that have things have actually kind of worked out and calmed down for people who were previously canceled, they started from a position of humility at some point. I can use the example of Lindsay Ellis. Lindsay Ellis, what she said was kind of weird, and some people got really mad at her. Now, what she did instead, and she admitted this in her video about it, she admitted that what she should have done was stop tweeting and said, well, I don't agree with this. I'm sorry. Because I don't agree with the accusation either. I think it was very strange accusation, read a lot into it, but I would have just said, okay, well, I'm sorry. I'll look into it and I'll figure out how I can do better. Guess what? Dropped. What she did instead was she doubled down, and then said worse things. And then she made her video where she admitted that she shouldn't have done that, admitted her mistakes, but also went after the initial problem, saying that she has looked into it and she has decided that this person is a shitwaffle and that the take was bad and I shouldn't have been dragged for it in the first place and it's ridiculous, and provided good examples for it. She was very sincere during all of it. And have you heard, since I brought it up, have you heard anybody bring up Lindsay Ellis being bad in the same way that, say, Contra, someone who has showed no real legitimate humility throughout the process of the things that she's, been accused of, which the things that she's been accused of, yeah, you could easily have diffused it all by saying, I'm sorry, I didn't look that much into Buck Angel. I should have done a better job. I apologize. I made the mistake already, but he's already in the video. I can't undo that. I can't take down an entire video just because of a 10-second clip that isn't TOS. But I apologize to my fans. I completely disown everything that he has said in the past and is still continuing to do. I should have did a better job. What she did was instead double down while also, double down on using the clip as not a big deal, telling people they're wrong for making it a big deal, while also acknowledging that he said terrible shit. That is just the shitball rolling down a hill of shit and picking up more shit. And that's why a lot of people still don't like Natalie. I, for one, take the position that her reaction was fucking terrible, and it's something that she needs to work on. Her humility. She really needs to work on her humility. And just like Haas here, she needs to admit where she was wrong, own up to it, and not worry about doubling down. I still think ContraPoint's videos are still good. I don't think they've quite been the same since all the shit. There's some kind of meanness to it that I really wish that she would confront and figure out how she can go about it from here on out. But they're still fine. They're fine. Her videos are fine. But I understand why a lot of people, specifically trans people, are done with her. I get it. I very much get it. She was wrong. Contra was wrong. There, I said it. Oh no, I said the terrible thing. Oh no, how dare. I must defend mommy, right? Or is it only daddy figures you do that for? This man doubled down in the most incredible way on something that is a verifiable fact. Female anatomy. Okay? It's not even the first time. Just tired of dealing with her. Yeah, that's a whole thing. She does the same thing every single time. I understand that. I've seen some of her takes on Twitter that I'm just like, what, girl, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, I just go, you know what? It's not bad enough to make me want to stop following you, but you're not helping yourself. I'm just going to watch your videos and not really look at your Twitter. let's get into this is example 1 of his doubling down, and then we'll go to his Twitter and the real fun begins, okay? For almost a week, I was almost gaslit into thinking that the technical mistake I made is extremely embarrassing, cancelable, and unspeakable. Dude, nobody's fucking canceled you. You can't be canceled. You were never picked up. This is a very niche side of the internet that is giggling at your very strange doubling down on a thing that honestly you just should have took the L, bro. Just take the L and move on. Oopsie. I don't quite know anatomy as well as I thought. My bad. You move on. Now I see a bunch of dipshits on Twitter, same ones who canceled me, by the way, make the same mistake. You need an education on this topic. The urethra and vagina are both within the vulva. I made the technical mistake on Kiana's show calling the vulva the vagina. Got canceled. Others did the same shit. I called them out, and people act like I'm wrong. Yeah, a lot. Remember what I said earlier about a lot of dudes don't really understand female anatomy, and they would most likely make the same mistake in the same position. And how it's not about the initial mistake, it's how you react to it. Hey, bud. Thank you for proving me right again. Then why the fuck was I canceled in the first place? Why did you make a big deal when you are literally making the same small, meaningless technical mistake that I made? What is the fucking point? You look so fucking stupid. That's it. After getting a bunch of white girls to send me pics of their ass and getting left Twitter to make the same mistake I got canceled for, I'm actually fuming. Live now. Just tweeting it out, streaming it out, having a good time. We're all having a good time at his expense. We didn't cancel you, bro. We just think it's fucking funny, and your response is kind of funnier. Let's go to his Twitter. When is he not fuming on live? True. There's no fucking debate. These people are just dishonest. And the truth is, as revealed by tonight, even most of the women who are attacking me aren't really knowledgeable about their own fucking anatomy. Truth is, my mistake on Kiana's show was not even a big deal. No, you're right. You're right, dude. Hey, look. Hey, we good. What do I have that's like a good this is the closest I got. You're right. You are absolutely correct. This isn't a big deal, dude. But it sure as hell looks like you're treating it like it's a big deal. It's such an extremely common fucking human error that even women make, referring to the vulva as a whole as the vagina, and when they were called out on it, they literally doubled down. That's it. I fucking won. There's no debate or argument anymore. I take the fucking W. All right, buddy. All right. This man is a living meme. Oh yeah, and he went after my good friend Vodka Booty. Vodka Booty is a great Twitter to follow, but I'm going to be very careful going through some of her shit because she is a sex worker. But she's fucking great. Follow Vodka Booty. Every day I breathe a sigh of relief knowing all the people talking shit about me on Twitter are ugly. Sometimes I get fooled, but then click the PFP and yup, ugly. If I had attractive haters, my whole worldview would collapse. I'd reevaluate my whole life, but so far, attractive people only send me encouragement and support. You know, unattractive people like the girl that this initial interview came from, who was she was definitely very attractive. And friend Vodka Booty here is she's very attractive. This got his fans start attacking my friend. That's a really weird worldview to start with. Attractive equals correct. Yeah. And let's look at his tweets. Let's see here. See some of the stuff. What about that hot girl who made fun of you for never seen a vagina? Yep. Completely unattractive. This lady. Just she's hideous. She's a hideous monster. Let's see here. I don't support you. Let's see here. Is she attractive? Yes. Yes, I would say that lady is attractive. I'm sure there's plenty of dudes that are also attractive in here. This isn't helping anyone's cause. And this isn't the first time that he's came out and said something. That he said something along these lines. Andre Demise is hella ugly too. Look, I'm not good at judging how attractive men are. I'm just not. Like, if a dude's like really attractive, I know. But like in between, I have no fucking clue. I know when a dude's like really ugly. I know when a dude's like really attractive. And I know I know I spot the joke there, Wilco. Let me put it that way. But I just had to specify that because I legitimately don't know. But I'm pretty sure that you're joking there because yeah, Andre is a I view him as an attractive man. So this is too funny, all of it. I felt the burn on that tweet about not ever seeing a vagina. Right? What do we got here, Tavert? By the way, it's good to see you.
Do a rematch with Destiny. Do a rematch with Destiny. Oh, because he lost?
No. Okay. First of all, isn't it? So I checked afterwards.
Stop yelling.
They literally just give themselves an award. Like they gave Destiny the award, but it's like it's literally I debate someone.
Who?
I debated Destiny, and it's on Dylan Burns' thing, and they're all like aligned with each other. And they just gave Destiny an award. Like, okay, so if you let's say you debate someone, they just give themselves an award, and they say they won. The hell? Listen, Destiny got blown out of the fucking water. I don't even know how anyone thinks that was a competition. He just gave himself an award.
So you did lose, is what you're saying. Technically.
No?
Technically.
What do you mean I lost?
Technically you lost?
If Queen.
Did you get the...
Take the L. You guys have been here when Juche Gang was here, right? Or at least in anyone's fucking chat. Juche is a member of his community. He's one of the Peter Coffin patriotic socialism. I'm so smart, so much smarter than everybody, kind of left-leaning, technically commu-fash Nazbol idiots that just came out and become a meme because he doesn't understand female anatomy. And he's kind of an incel. Juche's been on Twitch longer than Haas, which is interesting. Really? All they do is like vouch for him. Red Brown, absolutely. Incel is why the gym. Yeah. By the way, it's good to see you, Pax. Actually, no. I saw Juche go after somebody just earlier this week. They've stopped turning their eyes on me because I just laugh at them and say I'm not going to debate their daddy. But this is what daddy culture does to you. Largely, does it matter at all whether or not he lost a debate to Destiny? No. Does it matter that Destiny won? No. Would it have mattered if he lost? No. Both these people are terrible. There's no one who wins in this scenario, and more people need to recognize that. But do you know what's really funny? How absolutely butthurt either of them are regarding any sort of accusation of how well they did. That's what daddies do. They don't like it when you question their authority because daddy will give you a spanking. Gotta get that spanking. Come on, guys. Take some time. Recognize the things that you like about a streamer, but don't try to become them. Don't look at them as an extension of yourself. Move on and become an adult. Become your own person. There are things you could take from what you've learned from them. If you agree with them, sure. But become your own person. You have your own experiences by which you can build your personality off of. You don't need to become these people. I was tired of the Destiny clones years ago. Now I'm bored of them. To the extent where this guy is now more entertaining, but his fans are also turning into him. Same shit, different day. Same with Vosh. Vosh fans try to be Vosh. Destiny fans try to be Destiny. Infrared fans try to be Haas. You don't need to do that. You can admit this person that you liked was wrong. And you know what? Once you start there, you can start to see the faults in them presenting themselves as having never been wrong. I've asked several times Destiny fans if, hey, do you think that possibly it was a little wrong of fucking Steven to accuse Lance of supporting terrorism, which led to him getting literally death threats from all over the world? Do you think that was wrong, especially when on this last time that both of them had talked to each other, Destiny was proven wrong on that fact that he screwed up on doing any fact checking on, but wouldn't admit he was wrong, said he was holding Lance accountable for a thing Lance knew and was told he was wrong about, which again led to him getting death threats. Do you think maybe he fucked up and he's too afraid to admit it because he has no sense of humility? I can't get a single one of them to admit that he was wrong in doing that. And of all the crimes that that motherfucker has done to people, I would say that's near the top. Even if you don't like Lance, which I don't understand how many people can. The dude is incredibly likable. He's the nicest fucking guy. Does nothing but promote people smaller than him. But, you know, if you don't like him because of some of the debates he did, or yes, he's not the greatest debater, completely admit that. Even if you don't like him, can you honestly say that he deserved to have death threats thrown against him over something he didn't even fucking do? Can you just admit your daddy was wrong? Or does it hurt you too much to divorce this parasocial relationship from your own personality so that you have to, I don't know, become a person yourself? The same thing I say of right-wingers. No self-examination because it's hard. Not because you can't do it. You just don't want to. And that's the reality. Do you think that maybe Vosh was a little wrong in the shit that he said about Professor Flowers being a supporter of genocide? Which again led to her getting death threats, and still to this day leads to her getting death threats and being accused of being someone who supports genocide. Calling her a black supremacist. Things that aren't even true. Can you just admit he was wrong? You lose nothing. Absolutely nothing by admitting your favorite streamer was wrong. You might gain the personality that's not through somebody else, but through yourself. Do you think, hey, Juche gang, do you think maybe the way Haas attacks anyone who's a hater of his is being unattractive, even though literally this all started with him talking to people who are conventionally attractive because he didn't know basic anatomy or even understand what the guy does during a threesome because he never really thought about it because he's too up his own ass and can admit he was wrong. Do you think that this might be a bad thing and make him look really unserious and silly? Or are you just going to defend him? You're just going to endlessly defend him? Because, oh no, can't have my daddy figure look bad. Their idea of sex is pee-pee go warm dark. Yeah. Land back doesn't mean you get evicted. Yeah, that's another thing. Seriously. All that fucking shit. Well, the good thing from all this is that I have learned something about the vagina. My education was pretty shitty, and just because you've seen one doesn't mean you understand it. There's a reason why, like, a lot of, like, health teachers and everything, like, they kind of... There's some teachers that will tell, you know, young females to, like, take a mirror and look at it. Because it's far more complex than what we got, you know? Ours is a rigid, mushroom-headed stick that has two dangly bits that store goo. Connected to another part that shoots out pee. And that's it. That's all we got. That's all we got. Women have quite a bit more. That's all I'm saying. What? There's no goo in the testes? Prostate, my bad. Testes, testes create the semen to be stored in the prostate. My bad. You got me, Lord. See, we can make mistakes. We're allowed to do that. I was wrong, and I corrected it. We're good. Sex education in the United States is fucking laughable. Education does a lot of heavy lifting. Oh, yeah. The beta is stored in the balls. Testes just have sperm, actually. Yeah. That's what I meant. God. My sex education was condoms don't work. Don't have sex. Abstinence works. If you have sex before marriage, you're morally wrong. Yeah. Like, we had a more extensive one. We watched the whole birthing video and everything, which I almost vomited to. And I didn't vomit to it in real life. In fact, I was very enamored by it. It was very cool, and probably because it was my own boy. Look, I'm hungover. I fully admit I'm hungover. We haven't gotten to that part in A&P yet. Like, the knowledge isn't like fresh for me. But my point is that what we have is not nearly as complex. Because what we see is what it is. It's pretty much what it is. Men store their rage, yeah. It's a hangover stream. Kinda. I can't even handle 2 old fashions anymore. Go hydrate. What do you think this is? Have you ever done a hamburger fold with your dog? With your hog? What? Pretty complicated stuff. No, I mean, you look down at it. It is what it is. I don't even know why you would. I don't even want to know why you would do that, by the way. I keep my pride in my sack. Good to see a fatal meltdown. Point being, like, man, you made a simple mistake. Just be like, oops, and laugh it off and move on. But no, can't laugh at anything. Nothing you do is a joke, right? Haas, Destiny, any of you daddy figures that these people just cling around. Like seriously, I don't think this is TOS. But look, there's 3 openings, guys. There's 3 openings. You don't need to double down on this. Just laugh it off. The only reason this is so funny is because you refuse to do that. It's the only reason. It's it. That's the whole thing. That's the joke. You're making it worse. If you want it to end, you just go, sorry guys, I fucked up. But you dug too deep. Now you're a meme. Wait, you didn't know there was 3 holes? Where do you think women pee from? No. It's not me. Did you miss this, Bree? Did you miss this? You see, when women pee when they're pregnant, it's the urine passes over the baby. God damn it, dude. Just laugh. We have built a culture of people who are too afraid to do anything but consider themselves serious. On a daily basis, the amount of times that I laugh at myself for saying something stupid or flubbing my words or anything, things that happen a bunch, like way more than I like to admit. Like, it happens quite a bit. It sometimes happens on stream. It's like, obviously, I there's a lot less pressure to say certain things. There's like less pressure and everything. I talk a lot faster, because there's no recording of everything I'm saying. I'm just hanging out and doing whatever the fuck I want, and you say something and you realize how stupid it is, and you just laugh it off. Just laugh it off. This isn't hard. This isn't hard. It doesn't need to be this painful. You're making yourself a meme. That's all that's happening here. You're making yourself a meme. This is a choice you are making, Haas, to double down on this. You were wrong. You don't want to admit it. And that makes it funnier. Point being, if you're going to decry debate culture and debate bros, you have to start from where it came from. We have to attack the idea that we need these daddy figures. We need to kill our heroes in our head. We need... I haven't yet, no. I'm about to, actually. We need to just be willing to admit that we were wrong. This ain't that serious, bros. This ain't that serious. It's okay. You're fine. You're fine. Trust me. You'll be okay. All right. I'm sure that'll go by just fine. There's me covering drama for once, but it's too much. Hey, it's Mark and Eli. I hope you're doing well. Hope you liked the video. If you liked it, why don't you like, comment, and subscribe? My child may stop picking on me. Oh!